Hello everybody, I am the Chief of Wrestling, Craig Anderson, and you're listening to Dirt Sheet Mania, Episode 8. Hello everybody, welcome back to Dirt Sheet Mania. This is episode number 8. I am, as always, your Chief of Wrestling, Craig Anderson, alongside the Director of Creativity he creates so you can procrastinate, Kieran Smith. Hello, Kieran.
Yes.
Many yeses.
Yes.
Do you know what? I don't want to give it away because, you know, everyone's seen everything, but do you think we should do SmackDown first?
Nah, we'll go for
Should we do Raw this time?
Let's just go back to normal.
Last week we did SmackDown first because did it after Fastlane. But kind of wanted to talk about Bryan. But we'll talk about Raw first. We'll let everyone look forward to that. But the breaking news is that Daniel Bryan's back.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Great news.
Did you ever think you'd see this?
It's like I said to you, it come out of nowhere, but we were hoping for it. And it still felt like it come out of nowhere.
Because they announced it on the morning of a SmackDown, if this was 3 or 4 years ago when SmackDown was still taped, we wouldn't have seen this for 3 days, 4 days.
Yeah, they would have. I think they leaked this, or they said that this is going to happen before SmackDown to get more people turning to SmackDown. It'd be interesting to see what the ratings are like for SmackDown. And
because of the Greenwich, the hourly spring, it's autumn, whatever the hour times in England, that started at midnight.
Yeah.
So it was very easy to stay up and for that first bit.
It was quite funny because I was having a nap at the time, and I literally got woke up by the news that Daniel Bryan had been cleared, and I was like, I'm going back to sleep. This can't be true. Well, you roll back over and I'm reading all about it while I'm half asleep and all like that. And then I text you. Yeah. I said, Craig, Daniel Bryan's been cleared to wrestle! Exclamation mark.
Yeah.
And you're like, seriously?
Yeah.
I'm like, seriously? It's like, nah, you're lying to me.
Yeah.
And that's because you don't believe me with half the stuff I say. Like, I'll go out there and say that Undertaker versus Sting.
Well, how many years before Goldberg came back did you say Goldberg's back?
Goldberg's back
every single time I went.
Because I knew that sometimes you wouldn't watch Raw at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'd say Goldberg's back, or
I'd wake up to it.
Sting's here, or
cash in.
You know. But and you didn't believe me, and it honestly took you about 2 or 3 hours.
I was busy. I was busy for I was around Mitch's, and I was like, I didn't look at my phone much actually. And I kind of looked. I was like, come on. He's lying. But you weren't. And
I wasn't.
I'm honestly.
I wouldn't lie about such a tremendous thing.
You have done before. It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing.
And we'll talk about that later. But we're going to start with Raw. Raw is packed. We've got more on Roman and Brock. We've got the Raw Women's title. More on Sasha and Bailey. The Undertaker, Cena. What is anything actually going to happen there? And we also have the Ultimate Deletion, which is in the main event slot. Yeah. Also in the dark spot, we do have Ronda Rousey. She actually did come out of Raw.
Also, Braun Strowman was in a dark match. The Ultimate Deletion wasn't shown to the live crowd.
You're right, actually. No, there was the Ultimate Deletion just got shown to the people at home, and so imagine going there thinking, I'm going to see this on the big screen. This would be pretty sweet, and then actually not having to wait to go home.
Again, this is why I think it should have been on the network.
Yeah, because
we'll get into that.
But we'll get into all that later on. So we start with Kurt Angle in the ring. He's saying that Roman Reigns is still suspended. I thought it was more 50-50, but you thought it was more of a babyface.
Yeah, I would have said more people were probably cheering Roman.
So they wanted to see him, or they were happy he was suspended?
Well, I think happy that he, or maybe even come out. He is getting the babyface shine.
He's kind of it's coming round.
It's coming round. When he got arrested. Obviously, he got arrested by the US Marshal. The official US Marshal.
Yes, what did he forget to do?
Well, the US Marshal who can't remember his Miranda rights. He had to get a bit of paper out to read it.
That was a massive piece of paper as well, wasn't it?
Yeah,
for not many words.
Very experienced US Marshal there. I mean, obviously we all know they're indie wrestlers or something, but
of course they are. But for the sake of trying to make it real as possible, it didn't look great.
Yeah. But when he got arrested, people were cheering he got arrested, because obviously there are going to be that proportion of fans that don't like him and will boo him.
I think come WrestleMania, I think it'll be even hard. I think there'll be probably more boos for him because WrestleMania doesn't have the casual. It's
the hardcore fans, yeah.
and Brock, despite the fact that he's basically been a massive heel in the last few weeks, not showing up, doing what he did last night, or Monday night rather, they'll get cheered.
Yeah, he probably will.
So Roman then gets handcuffed at the front, not behind, which is a change in probably WWE's way of doing it. Roman said he'll go quietly, no issue. One of the US Marshals grabbed Roman by the arm. Roman went, touch me again, and there'd be an issue. Personally, I thought once you've been arrested, you didn't kind of have that right to tell someone not to hold your arm. I thought you kind of had to go along with it, at least in this country.
Yeah, I can't really say I haven't been arrested.
No, neither have I. But
so,
it's something that I would have. You
could have been arrested for fashion crimes committed in the last 10 years. But,
something you're wearing right now is probably a fashion crime.
You know, but people can't see this, so I could be sitting here naked in front of you, and they wouldn't know.
They'd know about
Attractive sights, ladies.
They'd know about it. So he gets arrested. The US Marshal then puts his hands on it again, and then Roman headbutts and pushes and like two hands together because he's handcuffed at the front, not behind. Takes them all down. And then Brock Lesnar's music hits, and after the third week of saying, "Oh, he'll show up," he does show up. Now, what did Michael Cole say on commentary at this point? Did he say it was premeditated?
At some point, I can't remember what point he said it.
I don't remember him saying.
He said this must have been all premeditated. I mean, Brock Lesnar's going to be a genius if he knew the US Marshals are going to come out.
Paul Heyman's a genius.
Yeah.
So I mean,
but he planned this so much that he knew the US Marshals were going to come out. He knew Roman Reigns was going to come out, get arrested, and
he didn't. You know. He had to know that Roman was first and foremost going to be there. So to know that, and like you say, to know then it's. I didn't hear him say that. I know the intern Jamie Smith said he heard that, and you.
I'm sure I heard it.
So,
but there's little tiny things about this segment that were a little off. They maybe could have changed it if they, I don't know, I would have time, or Roman maybe had a bit more input in it.
Well, the fact that Roman was suspended, he shouldn't have been there. The fact that I like the fact he walked through the crowd, good, tick. Why is he in his gear? He doesn't. Okay,
exactly. No tape, no elbow pads, nothing like that.
But his hair is watered. Have his hair up, because that's what he does when he's not wrestling. He has his hair up, or just have it down. Doesn't have to be wet, because it looks like he's ready for something. Have street clothes on.
Yeah.
And the I never know what to call it, but on the mic you have the cover that's the WWE logo one. Rip that off.
Yeah.
Technically you're rogue. Yeah. You're not supposed to be there. Make it as not supposed to be there as possible. Not.
Yeah, I mean he could have wore the same like wrestling trousers that he wears anyway in the same wrestling boots, but he could have just wore a different shirt. Just a shirt or just a t-shirt, another t-shirt, a random thing.
Even if he wore a WrestleMania t-shirt, something. Just kind of generic.
Yeah, just something from WrestleMania 32 because they're in Dallas, Texas. Why not just wear that? It could have been something you just picked up on the way, or But just little things about this that didn't go well for me in my head. But it was a good segment. And
Brock comes out. He German suplexes Roman. Now, what you said a minute ago off air, being German suplexed anyway is pretty horrible. And it's from Brock, and you got your hands tied in front of you. Now, from someone that knows how to bump. To taking a back bump from a German suplex, you need to have your arms next to you so you can absorb the thing through your arms, through your top of your back. You can't do that with your hands handcuffed, no matter how loose it might have been.
Especially the way that Brock does his suplexes as well. We always cringe when he does it because he seems to have no care for the person that he German suplexes.
I'm having flashbacks to Cena at SummerSlam.
Yeah. The only person I've known that has taken a good German suplex from Brock is Randy Orton, but that's because I think Randy Orton used to basically make himself dead weight, so it was harder for him to throw him
He
back.
watched Cena get murdered, so he decided...
Yeah, there's plenty of people he's done it to. Even to Braun and Kane when he's done them, it's sort of like... he doesn't seem to
I don't think
have
he
any regard for him.
Braun and Brock have had a few scuffles. The Rumble, when Braun was first in, that match at the Rumble was pretty hefty as well. But nonetheless... so then, the EMTs come out, they put Roman on a gurney, Brock and Heyman leave. I don't know, maybe like a minute or 90 seconds have passed, and then Brock's music hits again. Big reaction from the crowd, which during the downtimes were very quiet.
Yeah.
Really, really quiet. In between bits of this. Now, I don't know whether that was because they were just like, oh my God, did we just see that? Like, Christ. Or were they just like, I don't know if there was that or whether they were just like...
I think possibly they may have turned the mics down during the Brock thing just to...
But they sounded very, very quiet.
Yeah.
Very quiet.
Brock's still going to get cheered, but obviously, ultimately, they want Roman to be the one that...
They want that portrayed on television. So. That's no, very good, very good. And then Roman, as he's on the gurney, Brock runs back down to the ring and flips the gurney over, screams, "Rah!" And then we go to break. To me, it seems so quick and so bang, bang, bang. That little second bit where we ran out, part of me thought, Vince like, oh, damn it, we've got 30 seconds left. This is boring. Brock, go out and tip it over and then we'll go to break. It seems
I think that's they probably just had 30 seconds to kill before the ad break come in. You know, the first of 20 million of them. But
we had a good 20 minutes before there was a break, though. But then we had a lot of breaks. Yeah. Michael Cole said he's never seen a more horrific attack in WWE.
Yes.
Ever.
So I mean, there's a few examples we can do in the last couple of months. Braun doing anything to anyone.
Pulling the
stage down on Lesnar and Kane. You've got
Braun was in the back of a dust truck.
Cart, yeah.
Roman tried Braun tried to kill Roman. Yeah. Didn't he with sledgehammer and an ambulance?
Yeah.
That's 3.
Yeah.
Just 3. And apparently that is more horrific.
That's in the last 6 months to a year.
Let alone if we start picking holes in other bits and bobs. I mean, I know he's fed the lines, but I still find that I just find it a bit. I don't like that. Very off-putting. Raw Women's Championship, Kieran. It's hotting up now. We went into Raw knowing that Alexa Bliss is the champion. Asuka was going to SmackDown. We've known that for a couple of weeks now since Fastlane, but we're still no official direct challenger for Alexa Bliss. She's having a match with Asuka. We kind of know which way it's going to go. Asuka's not going to lose on a Raw 3 weeks before WrestleMania. And she wins via counter, which keeps both people kind of okay.
Yeah.
Mickey and Alexa decide that enough's enough. We're going to go up the stage.
Just quickly, how delightfully good looking did Mickey look on Monday night?
Mickey looked splendid.
I mean, she must be in her late 30s, early 40s. She's keeping up well with the rest of the roster.
She, from having the privilege, I've refed her.
You have.
I've worked with her, and she was. She hasn't missed a step. She was a privilege then, and she still looks like a privilege now, quite frankly. She looks incredible, and to turn her back heel again was a brave move, but she wasn't doing much as a babyface.
No.
So putting her heel and keeping Alexa with a sidekick, if you like, and it made sense from SmackDown because Alexa brought Mickey back.
I think they turned her heel because I think there's a lot of the women's rosters on each show is not deep enough.
No.
If there were two combined, the two Raw and SmackDown were combined, that roster's now deep enough for a woman roster.
Almost like a whole show, like 205 Live.
Yeah,
really.
But that's why, But
so as Mickey and Alexa are leaving, Nia's music hits.
Yeah. And
this is the first time that she has seen them in flesh since last week when they completely badmouthed her, completely destroyed. You're as dumb as you are big and all that stuff that Alexa and Mickey said. She hurtles towards them, and she does catch Alexa by the head as she jumped the guardrail, but then Mickey saves her, I think, twice.
Yeah.
Once she throws her into, I think it was into the sort of like
LED board, yeah, at the side of the ring,
which looks horrific, and the other time was, I think, just into the barrier. And then it became official later on that night. Alexa went to Kurt complaining, saying, "You got Roman Reigns arrested."
She should be suspended.
She should be suspended.
Which is, again, a little bit of a going back to storyline that Brock didn't have to defend his title inside the Elimination Chamber, but Alexa did. And it's just a little thing. I like that, and hopefully she'll use that sort of, the men, this happens to the men, but this doesn't happen to the women.
Yeah, no, and even though she's the heel and she is the one that we all want to see beat up, she's still the one actually kind of saying the right things. Yeah. So it's kind of a weird dynamic we've got going on there. I would like to say after the match, Asuka worked over Alexa Bliss's ankle quite a lot. Someone that just had that ankle kind of turn apart and stuff, she ran very fast.
Yeah.
Very, very fast.
Little things like that will wag you, but you can't.
The injury.
Yeah, I suppose in some ways you can't blame her. Like, if you're running for your life, the adrenaline's obviously kicking in, you might be able to sort of just run on it and go. I mean, I wouldn't want to piss off Nia Jax running after me, so I'd do anything I can to run. And if I even meant hurt my ankle even more,
could you imagine that if you're Alexa Bliss, you've just had a match with Asuka who's destroyed your ankle, and you've had to basically walk or limp off, and then as you're limping off, Nia Jax decides she wants to destroy you. So that match will happen at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship.
It has been made official now.
Has been made official. Yes. We move on to the Raw Tag Team Championship division, which is interesting because there is a number one contender, but it's one person in Braun Strowman. Yes. Now, we know he has to, it's official, he has to have a partner. When do you think that partner will be revealed?
See, I think that partner should be revealed at WrestleMania. I think there's enough of a card that's known that you can have a surprise. And
should we have a little speculation?
I said to you, well, I'd say semi-jokingly, but I think if it happened, it'd be quite full circle. But James Ellsworth as his partner would be tremendous.
So good. Talk about an absolute... was it after SummerSlam, wasn't it?
Yeah.
2 years ago? 18 months ago?
Yeah, it was after... Was it after Battleground, wasn't it?
When he debuted?
Yeah, after the first...
It was the official first Raw of the new era. Another one that I was thinking of, okay, we both said officially we think it'll be Elias.
Yeah, I think Elias...
He's not been on Raw now, he's wandered off.
Elias deserves a spot at WrestleMania, and I think that's why ultimately he'll be Braun's partner.
Just to throw another couple of random ones out there, there's been rumours, obviously, of a certain Mexican individual, Rey Mysterio. I've seen...
I think Kane could be a good one.
You said Kane. Big Cass has been cleared.
Yeah.
Big Cass and Braun. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? I think... I know
they can't teach how to get these hands.
I mean, Cass, the whole Cass and Enzo thing ended abruptly, and Enzo obviously, rightly so, isn't with the company anymore. So Cass will be a humongous loose end when he comes back. So if they did decide to go with Big Cass, then I think there's nothing wrong with that decision, and it would also prove that he could win something with someone else that he couldn't win with Enzo.
Let's throw something out there. I think, just quickly, this is literally something just popped in my head.
Go for it.
Big Cass would be perfect for the Miz.
As challenging,
just as a bodyguard. The old Kevin Nash.
As with him.
Yeah, like
part of the Miz Taraj?
Yeah. Dress him up, suit him up. Be a bit of a big, because he's a big guy. He's 7 foot tall.
Yeah,
you can't teach that. But I think that, because as much as Bo and Axel are his lackeys, they're not physically dominating, are they? You can take them, but if you've got Big Cass there,
he'd be more...
you'd be a bit more scared.
He was I think coming out of that Enzo Cass rivalry, he was supposed to be the heel.
Yeah.
Even though he did get cheered. It depends where they want to go with it. It really does. I think if he doesn't come back the night after WrestleMania, if he is cleared, I think he probably will come back then.
Yeah.
I can see him going to SmackDown, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Get a new lease of life, because he's been on Raw since he got in there with Enzo. So I can see him going to SmackDown if the first pay-per-view of Backlash is a draft show, which I think would be pretty cool.
So Braun's partner, we think it'll be Elias, but there's a few options out there that it could be.
Yeah, there's a few ones that, and
it could be a possibility of a SmackDown star going over, just because he needs to find a partner. He's basically decimated everyone on Raw.
Maybe
a SmackDown guy, or maybe a 205 Live guy, like Jack Gallagher, or like Kieran or something like that.
The possibilities are endless. It could be twice so worldwide. They've beat the bar a few times. So on Raw, he was supposed to face one member of the bar, and Sheamus and Cesaro both went to get in the ring, and then Sheamus did the old U-turn at the last minute. Even though they're getting on now, and they've got great charisma and they look like such a team. Still kind of don't mind.
Didn't they say Cesaro was saying that they eat together, they train together, and sleep together? And Sheamus is turned around, he's like, no, not
like that.
This is for
you sickos.
Pop for that.
I mean, I know you got Braun Strowman, who's a very serious dude. The Bar, who are very serious, but I look at the three of them and they're just so funny. And they mean to be as well.
Braun, he can do the serious stuff very well. He can do the monster stuff really well, but he's got great comedic timing as well, which is good. Like at the moment, he's not in the title picture, the world title picture. He will be there soon.
Oh, there's no question.
There's no doubt about that. But
win or lose at Mania, he'll be in that title picture one day. I don't think you probably have. Have you ever been in a ring?
No.
Okay. Let alone a 20 by 20. And I've only been in a 20 by 20 a few times, but it's a lot bigger. When we go and watch it live, watching WWE or when we see it on television, it doesn't look that big. I've been very lucky enough to stand in one and to ref in one. Now, it is huge. It is ginormous. Ginormous to the point where if you're Braun Strowman, you're one side of the ring and you're running towards someone on the other side, you think, okay, that'll be a while before it gets there. Not Braun. He motors. For a big dude, he is so fast.
I think it's easy to compare rings. If you look at Final Deletion, which obviously we'll get onto, the ring that were used there, they were smaller than a WWE ring.
That looked 18 by 18. Yeah. And now you can only see 2 feet off each side, but that really does shorten the ring up.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I think like for me, I watched Nitro when I was younger. The Nitro ring I think was 18 by 18, and the WWE ring's 20 by 20.
I've refed in everything from 6-sided rings to 12 by 12s, all the way up to a 12 by 12 ring is I don't want to ever do that again.
Ridiculous. Yeah, I've seen pictures of you refing in there.
Have you?
Yeah, it just looks ridiculous.
As a referee, you're one goal. It's simple, one goal. First and foremost,
you might as well just use those rings that they use as the entrance at like WrestleMania 3 when they come down in those little ring things. You might as well imagine that, you know.
Like with Andre the Giant and Bobby Heenan. Oh my god. No, the 12 by 12 is a joke. So yeah, we will probably find out at WrestleMania. I think that's a great decision. Ellsworth, Elias, Kane, whoever it is.
Next couple of Raws, it'd be good just to see a few people come up to Raw and say, yeah, I could be a tag partner, or I can be, you know, just random people, you know.
No, I like that. And maybe,
I'm sure there'll be some comedy segment with a referee or something, you know, like, you know. You want to be my partner?
It wouldn't surprise me. So Sasha Banks and Bayley. Are they friends? Are they not friends? Is one of them heel? Is one of them face? Are either of them face? Are either of them heel? Questions. There's no official match yet for WrestleMania. They were in a tag against the Absolution. Still with Paige. She's still there.
I had a feeling about this, about Absolution. When Sasha was coming down to the ring, I was like, maybe she could be the one in charge of Absolution.
So she jumped ship.
Yeah.
They kind of respectfully, Paige is sliding.
Maybe it was because we were expecting some sort of Sasha heel turn or Bayley heel turn. I still think it'll be Sasha. But in the middle of this match, I thought, maybe she can use Absolution just to turn on Bayley here, and then she joins in the attack. And like Paige, because Paige still could be the mouthpiece. There's nothing wrong with that. But just Sasha's the leader in terms of an in-ring
capacity.
Yeah, so
I've never thought of actually someone else joining.
Yeah,
that, you know, because obviously with Absolution, there's a very unique dynamic where Paige was their judge, part trainer of Tough Enough, and
if you watch the WWE 24,
yes, I have.
Howard,
yes,
they allude to that, and they give Paige a lot of praise.
Very emotional.
That,
so. She was the one that really should have been in that match.
Yeah,
really should have been. So that was very sad, really seeing that back. They, you know, when Sasha is saying she forgives Bayley, I don't like that. I hate that. She's the boss. Like when she was a heel, when her and Bayley had that rivalry in NXT, that for me was one of the best rivalries ever NXT will ever put on, ever. And to kind of go full circle, yes, I know they're friends and they're in the Four Horsemen with Becky and Charlotte and all that stuff, but we're getting to the nooks and cranny of we're 3 weeks from Mania. One of them is going to turn on the other one. We just don't know which one. We both think it should be Sasha. At this stage, her saying, I'm sorry, you're putting a hand out, and then Bayley ignores it. You know, and then during the match, they're kind of having disagreements. Even though they're arguing, they're still doing double elbows and stuff. They lose the match.
She may be the boss, but Bayley's like, as she said, they're like sisters. They're that close. And
can she forgive her? For the chamber?
Well, you know, you've got a brother, I've got a brother, you get into fights, you have arguments and things like that. You've
got a sister as well.
You get pissed off with them sometimes, but you forgive them, you know. So it's...
Sometimes.
You know, with this, and this, obviously, they're just having a bad moment where they can't forgive each other. And I quite like it. I think it...
They can't forgive each other, but they're still only partly getting on with each other.
Yeah. But, you know, ultimately, when you step in that ring, you want to win a match, no matter what's happening.
Well, they lost,
you know,
again. And it was... Sasha was in the ring illegally. Bayley had someone pinned. I think she had Sonya Deville pinned.
Yeah.
And then
for a 7 count, I think Corey was saying.
Yeah.
Corey was actually counting 1, 2, 3.
Bailey got annoyed, turned around, and eventually I think Sonya pushed Bailey into Sasha. Sasha bowled out of the ring, and then she turned around to that kind of, I don't really want, kind of a kick, judo kick, like she flings her leg up onto her head and kicks her for a 3 count. Took her about 3 hours to go down for that pin though, because she was too near the ropes.
Yeah,
so Sonya made a bit of a boo-boo.
But Sonya's still learning. Mandy's still learning. They're 2 years. That's what they said in the 24 episode. It was 2 years
into wrestling, not just as fans into wrestling.
They'll get better. You can see they're getting better every week. Just little things. Obviously, having Paige there, while she can't wrestle, she can still give them knowledge and everything like that. So
promo's great. I want to really very very briefly just. I don't know if it's just me. But are Mandy Rose shorts a tiny bit too small?
Yes, but then you could also say that Nikki Bella's are a tiny bit
the same
small.
sort of thing. Yeah, I don't know why I found that, because we're in this era of PG now. I just find it slightly uncomfortable. I'm like, surely they should be a bit bigger.
So obviously Attitude Era, they'll probably be wearing more skimpier.
That'd be less than that.
Yeah,
even the top would be
you've
less.
got to think as well from a male standpoint. The male competitors don't. They don't wear t-shirts. They've got their chests out and everything like that.
They don't have the breasticles, though, do they, Kieran?
No, they don't. But they're still showing, 6-packs and pecs and things like that, aren't they?
Well, the ladies have their 6-packs out.
They're still revealing enough, and you'd even say the men, from a male standpoint, they're revealing enough.
It's a fair comment.
But
they are very skimpy.
Women have boobs, and sometimes they have big boobs, and sometimes they don't always fit into things.
Nip slip.
But that's just how it is. And I'm sure if they thought it was getting too revealing, they will have to tell her to sort it out. But
we follow on from that, and we saw a potential match that might happen at WrestleMania this year. Spoiler, it's going to happen. Cena versus The Undertaker. Now we saw couple of promo photos from either of them. Cena had his current green t-shirt with the cap, and he's doing the whole, 3 fingers up with the hustle and respect. Undertaker's promo photo looks about 7 years old.
Yeah.
Really annoyed me. It's tiny things.
Yeah, it does. But
he's got the hood now. He doesn't have the hat. But again, when you think of it realistically, since WrestleMania's appeared once, would he have a promo photo done?
Exactly.
It's the Undertaker.
He's the Undertaker.
He doesn't have promo photos.
Doesn't have promo photos. He's not going to go. Some photographer going to go, hey, dead man, can we take a photo?
Excuse me, Mark. can you just get off your wife's Instagram and just take this photo, please? So Cena cuts another promo. Extremely. He says the Undertaker, by not responding to him, the Undertaker is being disrespectful to John Cena. I think he's probably right. I do buy that. And it was people want to talk about John Cena becoming a heel or being a heel. A very heel promo. It is all in your perception, really. And I think this was a heel promo from Cena. He was saying the Undertaker was a coward. I can't remember anyone calling Dead Man a coward.
Anything to get the Undertaker out.
He's trying to rile him up.
Yeah.
And what happened?
Kane appeared.
But
which it in terms of this makes sense. I think Cena was a bit too, as Edge put it in his podcast, hokey.
It was. Well,
but he was like,
that was the week before,
Kane.
though.
Kane's obviously here to say yes or no for him.
Yeah,
give me an answer, Kane. Let's have a hug or something in the middle of the ring. It was a bit stupid.
Why? I don't know.
Why would you see? Considering you've seen what Kane's done the last couple of months since he's been back, he's been in a Universal title match. He's beating people up and things like that. Why would you you'd be on your guard a bit, wouldn't you?
He walked right up to him.
Yeah.
Like, as closer than I am sat to you doing this. He walked straight up to him and put a mic 3 inches from his mouth and went, "What do you reckon? Is he saying yes or no?" And then unsurprisingly chokeslammed him. Now, Kane and Cena will face one-on-one next week on Raw. And then we'll be 13 days from WrestleMania.
I don't think we see Taker until Mania.
Bit like the Bray Wyatt feud.
Yeah.
Bray carried the feud.
I think he'll say, because again, do you need Undertaker on the posters right now to sell it?
Of course you do.
Do you? You've got Rousey, you've got Angle, you've now got Daniel Bryan, you've got AJ Shinsuke.
I do you know what for us, no, you don't. But some people won't know who the quote unquote, who's the Japanese guys, who's that tall blonde girl. You know, they won't know, but everybody knows who the Undertaker is.
Yeah.
So the casuals, like we talk about,
but you got Triple H and you got Kurt Angle.
Right, Kurt's in the background, tiny Kurt.
As he, okay. I think he'll be more prominent. But you got Ronda Rousey.
The bar aren't even on it.
A lot more people are going to know who Ronda Rousey are than in the world. There are a lot of people going to know who Ronda is more than the Undertaker.
The Undertaker, yes. No, they will. They will.
Unfortunately.
No. That's just part of reality of what it is now. So, like, obviously, from Attitude Era guys, that people that stopped watching wrestling back then, or 2001, 2002, don't know who Kurt is. They know who Triple H is, and they would know who the Undertaker is. It's not necessary anymore because of the roster, because he's not there. There has to be other stars. But I do think for WrestleMania, it does help. It doesn't have to, but I think it probably does help if he's on the poster. I think Undertaker accepts on the last Raw before Mania. Mm-hmm.
And then he appears at Mania.
One last question about this. Will it be the dead man or will it be the biker? Give me an answer.
Too many theories about this.
Straight up answer.
I think you'll see a mixture.
Lies! Is that fence hurting your ass, by the way?
Yeah. I think you'll see a mixture.
I'm gonna say we'll see the dead man. I don't think we'll see the biker. I just think we'll see dead man.
I think there'll be some sort of hybrid thing of it. I think.
Well, that's what he was when he first came back.
Yeah.
He had like shorter hair, but he had like the trench coat, but he had the old biker gimmick, but yeah, just without the bike.
Maybe the ramp's going to be so long he actually needs a bike this year to get down there. So maybe just take.
What about like an evil bike? Like it's a dong, but like because he's so screwed and he can't walk anymore, he has to ride a bike. Yeah. I don't know.
I was saying some hybrid version of it or something. You know,
while I'm giving you shit for it, I do think you're probably kind of more in the right direction.
Yeah. Because as much as it's a part of his past, and it wasn't a very celebrated part of his past. Everyone loves the dead man thing and there's variations of the dead man.
I loved Rolling though.
But you won't see Rolling. It'll be Kid Rock's version.
Because Kid Rock. That's the theory.
That's the theory.
Anyway, Intercontinental Championship match. Miz did a promo on Raw. Prince Nivet and Tyler Black.
Prince Nivet.
He got the old gimmick wrong.
Yes. And I think he knew he messed that up.
He kept on though, but Miz is a professional. Yeah. Prince Nivet.
But maybe him saying it wrong just goes to show that he doesn't care.
It's not. In actual fact, it's not a bad thing. He got it wrong. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. Prince Devitt and Tyler Black. He called them by their old gimmick names from Ring of Honor and the Independence, Japan, etc. Not. He's. I don't know. There's a tag match that comes up next. Finn is with the boys, the club. The Balor Club.
The OGBC.
Yes, which is...
Not the OGBYN or whatever.
Which is that midwives in America?
Yeah, something like that.
I only know that because of Scrubs.
Yeah.
Because Elliot's dad wants her to become a...
OBGYN.
And she doesn't want to be one.
But this is the OGBC.
Yeah, the OGBC, which, say it fast and you might get it wrong. The original gangster, you said? That's what it means?
I think so. I'm not down. But I think OG stands for like original.
Original guy?
It's the original Bullet Club. That's basically
what they're going for.
And that's what they are. It's quite a controversial shirt when you think about it.
Having BC on a WWE piece of information. And on the back, what did it say? Too sweet.
I'd say too sweet.
On the back it says too sweet. And that's what they trademarked.
They have, I think Gallows has on his ring gear as #BC on his...
Something in Japanese on there as well.
Yeah. He has quite a few things on there, but everyone outside of WWE or inside of WWE knows that there's obviously former members of the Bullet Club. Just WWE can't say that they're from the Bullet Club. It'd be nice in the future if they could get some sort of deal to use the Bullet Club, but
I think the Bullet Club needs certain
when Triple H
arms.
is in charge.
When that day comes around, we think wrestling's changing. On one level, it's going to just go ridiculous. I think there'll be a lot more crossover hybrid stuff. But you have the Balor Club versus the Miz and the Miz Taraj. It eventually breaks down into a scenario where you have everyone's beating down Finn and Seth, who's on commentary, makes a save. There's this kind of like they're going to have a rematch on Raw next week after Finn duped Finn last week. So, I think probably Seth will get that one back to 50-50 booking. But you need to have matches building into a match as a WrestleMania to build up this feud. They have this weird, I respect you, but we have to beat each other WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And it's quite interesting because at the moment Finn's with the club and Seth is, because of Roman and because of Ambrose, Seth's just roaming around not doing much. That's why he's in this match.
Yeah, but I think it's a good match to have. If Seth becomes the Intercontinental title, and he alluded to
he becomes the Intercontinental,
he becomes a Grand Slam champion as well.
Wow, does he?
Yeah, he does.
Jesus, that's happened a bit quick.
Look, the Intercontinental title has been for the last year the main title on Raw. Right, the Universal title doesn't get defended.
No, you're right.
It's been defended like 3-4 times.
You're right.
So he'd be
let alone defended on Raw.
Yeah, he'd be the title holder, and obviously Miz has done such a good job. I can see, as a quick sort of allude to WrestleMania, Miz possibly dropping it now that Bryan's back.
The Miz Bryan match has to happen
this
year.
It can happen. It can happen now.
It will. SummerSlam.
Yeah,
has to happen. If not before.
I like this a triple threat, and it looks like they're keeping it to triple threat. They've just announced a US title match on SmackDown, which is again a triple threat. The only person that I will accept to be added to this match.
Great shout, by the way.
Only person should be Samoa Joe. Only person. Because I think it ties into the whole indie sort of thing, and they're all coming up against the Miz.
Yeah, I like that.
And Miz will probably ultimately win it and keep it,
and then break the record.
Yeah,
which is like 2 weeks after or something.
Yeah. But also Miz may end up, or Maurice might end up having a baby on the day of WrestleMania, so Miz is going to piss off and not defend the title.
Could you imagine? It could happen.
It could.
I think in that scenario they probably strip him of the title.
Yeah.
And he doesn't care because his baby comes involved. And rightly so, I think I'll probably do the same thing. We do then, as one other little quick tidbit before I want to get to the Ultimate Deletion, the Revival have announced that if Braun wants to come into our world, we're going to go into his, and they officially are the first entrants into the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. They said that they're going to be the first tag team to win it, which isn't possible. One of them has to win unless they both leave the ring at the same time. But then nobody wins. Then it's a draw. I'd say
is it a draw, or is it a win, or is it a loss? I don't know. I don't know how it works.
There's not enough information. If they literally,
Craig, they're not going to win.
They're not going to win. They're not going to win. They're not going to win. If he's not a tag partner of Braun Strowman's, I think Big Cass is probably a nice little shoe-in for this one. It gives him wonderful momentum, and he wins something. He's never won anything in WWE. The Ultimate Deletion. I have some notes. There's lots of different little name places in this, so forgive me if I butcher one or two.
Or all of them.
Or all of them, which will probably be all of them. So, throughout the night, we get Matt with Vanguard 1, which is the drone. Senor Benjamin, who is the gardener. He does a few extra things. Rebby Sky, who is his wife. He calls her Queen Rebecca. Who
apparently done a lot of the music for this.
Very talented.
Yeah, very talented.
And very outspoken, if you're on Twitter. Yeah, especially about Jeff. Jeff's in this as well.
Jeff appears.
Makes a very little cameo.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure what would happen. I'm just happy he's there. Yeah. Like, let's just get on with it. I'm happy he's there. And he was in the big coat as well, so he was actually in his broken gimmick as well.
Which makes sense, because he can still go back to being Jeff Hardy, but because of this, and it was a sort of like someone's
alternative universe almost.
He can appear as Brother Nero.
Lord Wolfgang, I think, is it Lord Wolfgang, his youngest? Yeah. And then King Maxwell. King Maxwell did the promo on the other.
I'm telling you now, it's King Maxwell. It's not Maxwell.
Maxwell.
It's Maxwell.
You think, okay, it's fine. Well, but I'll agree to disagree.
Google that shit, isn't it?
Google afterwards. So we have a few, he sends Vanguard 1 to do the, to see the grounds, and the second you see Bray. I do like it when they go into Vanguard 1's kind of like inside, like Iron Man, and then you kind of look out and he sees, Bray Wyatt. And there's like, what has he got there? It's a lamp. And then because that lamp goes down to this little thing, and it's like intruder. And then Matt's head just kind of comes up in this. Yeah. This is so funny. And Edge wants to call stuff hokey. This is hokey. It's funny, but TNA, when they did this, it was amazing. Matt and Jeff in the first one, it was outstanding. It was so great. It lasted like 20 minutes. This lasted about 15. One thing really annoying me, just before we go into what actually happened in the Ultimate Deletion, before, Michael Cole said, "I'm sorry for what you're about to watch." And what did he say? He said Matt is not an imposter, but he's like an egotistical maniac or something. He called him he called him something I thought was just completely unnecessary.
Quite clearly, I say quite clearly, I think he's obviously been fed this from Vince at the time. I think Corey said, "What you got to be sorry for?"
Corey's like, "Shut up, Mike." I mean, I know he's been fed it, like we said, but it really pissed me off that. So Bray with the Vanguard 1 tells Bray to follow him, and he finds the ring with Sean Bennett, the WWE ref that Kurt sent last week. He's already there. I'd have loved to have seen a little segment where he arrives and Matt goes, "Go towards the ring," and or Van Gogh takes Sean Bennett to the ring.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a nice little thing.
Maybe just a little exclusive at the beginning of the show or something like that.
Yeah, first thing we see is Sean Bennett arriving and just being like proper scared.
Yeah.
So they go to there is a ring. They both get in the ring. When Sean Bennett rings the bell, it's more of a church bell dong.
Yeah, which was a little nice little thing.
So that was a nice touch. They have a very basic little backwards and forwards until they sort of start spinning out of the ring. Well, first and foremost, it's fireworks.
Yeah.
Very close to the ring.
More pyro has been on WWE TV than the rest of the year.
And it literally, instead of actually, it looked like dead, easy, cheap fireworks. Bray says he's got a present for Matt. Found this very weird. Then goes under Matt's ring and knows there's a chair there.
Yeah.
That's weird.
That doesn't make sense.
That's really crap. Like that's
why would Matt put a chair under his ring?
And how would Bray know there's a chair?
I get why WWE rings have chairs under the rings. Cause
of course.
Set up rings and maybe they need to stand on it or
the spare chairs go under the ring and then after the show you take them all away again. Same. But why Matt Hardy ring would have a chair under? Maybe Matt would use it, but for Bray to know there's a chair there, that was a bit shit. So we then start to and the ring, by the way, I think I just read this down. We did touch on it. Okay, it's smaller and it's also got nothing WWE on.
Yeah.
Sean Bennett is the only reason we know this is a WWE match.
Yeah. Because
he's a WWE official. Even in TNA, the ref that went there wasn't branded. Okay. So that was completely stripping back. We move on to the next bit, which is is it the decapitated city?
Dilapidated city.
Dilapidated. What does that mean?
It means you play Fortnite. There's a lot of dilapidated places in Fortnite.
There is. There is.
Yeah, it just means run down, destroyed, sort of thing.
It reminded Bray of a place.
Yes.
The old Wyatt compound. The old Wyatt.
Yeah, where Sister Abigail was.
And that's where they cut the very early promos for the Wyatts with even Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, Braun Strowman even. So... And it had a lot of flashbacks and stuff, which is nice. Like, I like that they called upon that.
See, from this whole Ultimate Deletion, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I just think it maybe missed a little bit of... obviously, we got Brother Nero, but I think a few more little Easter eggs in there and sort of things like that.
Luke Harper, Eric Rowan.
Yeah, maybe.
Even Braun.
Yeah, I mean, even just in their old gear, just sort of just flash there. Just quick, like they did with Brother
all four of them stood together, flash, black mask on
he
Braun.
sees them in the ring and he smiles or something like that.
My brothers!
Yeah.
You know.
Or just something like that. I think that would have made a little extra thing.
It's like he's hallucinating.
Yeah.
It's not real.
That's what he... Obviously, it's obviously a lot of hallucinations in this and things like that. But I think, having Harper and Rowan there for just 2-3 seconds on screen, maybe it would have been a little pop for us.
Just like Jeff.
Yeah.
Bray is in a trance and then Matt just decks him. And then he runs away, which is weird. We go to the land of obsolete men, I think, next, which has got those Hardy kind of logos in the ring all over the place. And Matt, basically, they play a massive game of hide and seek. Yeah. Who wants to play tag and I'm going to run away?
I'm sure if you read some of the names on these graves...
I didn't get a chance.
I didn't either, but I'm sure there's probably some sort of hidden name on there that,
Vink McMahon.
Yeah, or something. Just something like that.
Dixie Carter.
Yeah. Yeah, but there could be. There's probably something there.
It could be. Maybe White Family was there, as a family.
Yeah.
So,
but I did try looking at
Willow.
It, but yeah.
Because Jeff Hardy, another Jeff Hardy persona. Then they go to the Dome of Deletion, which is something we've seen in the Ultimate Deletion in TNA as well.
Which is a barn.
It's just a barn, but there's another ring in.
Yeah.
Another ring. There's a guitar. No, there's not. There's a
piano.
A piano, which is interestingly placed, and there is also a little kind of lawnmower, but one you sit on, like a big one. And they went towards the ring a tiny bit, but then they kind of came back again. Matt tries to run him over.
With a mower of lawn.
With no hands.
Going very slow.
After Jeff's DUI, was this wise?
Yeah.
Very strange. But then Bray does the whole backwards crab thing. Yeah. And even though Matt isn't holding the wheel, he's surprised and stops the lawnmower. Yeah. Now, I'm not condoning running anybody over, but if somebody's doing that and you're going to do it anyway, why didn't he just run him over?
Yeah.
Weird.
Maybe he thought he could delete him if he was in his upward crab position or whatever.
What do you think Matt would call that? The backwards metaphor.
I don't know.
Yeah, so they go to what I've been looking forward to. The only tiny bit of this I was like, okay, I look forward to this anyway, but I was desperately looking forward to the Lake of Reincarnation. And I'm thinking they kind of teased it in some of the promos with Matt in a boat, another vessel, and all that stuff. They go towards the Lake of Reincarnation. This is where we see Jeff.
Yeah.
Very briefly. We also see. So there's the boat that Matt was talking about. Now,
Skarsgård. Is it Skarsgård?
Skarsgård? It's like a gold boat, little gold boat. Looks like a really tiny rowing boat, really. Matt falls into, hides underneath it because he gets flipped over. When Bray goes to take it away, Senior Benjamin is there. And then, what does he throw him, Kieran?
Throws him a little blow-up globe. And then says, the whole world is in your hands.
But he says it's so shit.
He's so rubbishly and so quick, you know.
He's got the whole world in his hands.
Yeah, basically, that's what it was. It was quite funny. It was quite funny.
Are we supposed to find this funny?
Well, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, of course we are.
I found it entertaining and hilarious at the same time. But, yeah, that made me laugh. That's when we see Jeff, I think, as well. Yeah. Jeff pops up at the side. And then we do... Matt then turns around and hits Matt. Matt hits him with a twist of fate, and then he counts 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Bray then ends up in the Lake of Reincarnation, and that's it. Matt sends Senior Benjamin in to retrieve the vessel of Bray Wyatt, and Senior Benjamin says, "He's not there, Matt. What do we do?" Again, very deadpan. I can't.
So. Obviously,
that's it.
Bray Wyatt has been deleted. There's rumours that he will be repackaged. The Bray Wyatt character is So Bray Wyatt will be put on the shelf for a bit. I can see
Husky Harris.
I don't think he'll come back. Husky Harris. The Bray Wyatt character will be gone for a bit. I think he can go back to it at some point in the future. I think this is almost a great way. The Lake of Reincarnation could be a great way to repackage a number of wrestlers. Just stick him in a feud with Matt, and then he throws him in the lake, and then they repackage someone. Rather than send him to NXT, just repackage him via the Lake of Reincarnation.
Just have another Ultimate Deletion match.
I saw a tweet from someone, I can't remember who it's from, but maybe he can come back as part of the Broken Universe and be another, Brother Wyndham. Which
juicy.
Which would be
when before we knew it was going to be a Braun Strowman, I desperately wanted, and I've wanted this for a long time, as Matt and Matt and Bray to be a team and then face the Bar at Mania. Okay, we know it's not going to happen now. But basically, for all intents and purposes, we end Raw with a murder.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
Monday Night Raw's over with a murder.
Sweet.
Fantastic. It's weird.
Very weird.
And he celebrates.
The thing is, it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. This.
I enjoyed it, but not as much as the Impact one.
I think they could have done a little bit more.
They didn't try.
Yeah, I don't say it was rushed. I just think they could have done a bit more of it, a bit more time. Like I said before, I think this could have been an hour special on the network, or a 45-minute, even half hour. Just get people to tune in whenever they like to watch it.
I saw another tweet saying that we have sacrificed Bray Wyatt to get Daniel Bryan back.
Yeah.
That's all few of them. So that's Monday Night Raw, a murder. Thanks for that. We're going to move on to the bridge segment, and if you can think of a better name to call it, we'll call it that.
I can't
pre 2013 Diva segment.
Yeah,
when everyone went to
toilet break.
The
toilet break.
It's long, but it might be called that. So coming up next, we're going to be talking about Mixed Match Challenge, the 205 Live Cruiserweight Tournament, and also the latest inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2018. So So this is the bridge segment now for DSM. There's a few things we're going to talk about. Let's dive straight in and talk about the Mixed Match Challenge. So last night, okay, we don't get to see this yet because it's not available in the United Kingdom, but in America on Facebook Watch, The Miz and Asuka, which is Asuka, which just sounds like Asuka's name, faced the Dream Team of Little Big versus Alexa Bliss and Braun Strowman. The winning team was Miz and Asuka. They clearly think that Asuka will lose if she loses a tag team match, even if she's not pinned. That will be her defeated.
So ultimately, that means Asuka and Miz are going to win this.
Yeah. If the only other team I thought that could win this was Braun and Alexa, and now if they're not winning this match, then obviously it's not happening. So I don't know, because we haven't seen it and we haven't got the availability to see it, which is very frustrating. I can only go on from what we know. And now all I know happened in the match is that Braun and Asuka nearly kissed. Braun and Alexa Bliss nearly kissed in the ring in the middle of a match.
Sweet.
Backstage promo. This on YouTube says the only reason we know this happened is on WWE's YouTube page. They're having a moment backstage, and I think Charlie or someone from backstage is asking them, so you think guys had a moment in the ring that nearly happened? And Braun goes, yeah, and I really want to finish it now, and looks down at Alexa, which is rapey as fuck. And then Alexa's like, and she's like, yeah, I wanted to finish as well. Buddy Murphy's like, no, why my girlfriend? Just crying in the corner with his abs. And as they get like centimeters away from kissing each other.
I take it the Buddy Murphy sitting in a corner crying with his abs.
With his abs.
Actually happened.
Abs. Just
theoretically, that's what is happening, but it didn't.
Tears rolling down his perfectly formed abs, and this fan just, for some reason, is backstage, runs and goes, oh my god, Alexa Bliss, oh my god, sign my t-shirt. And Braun goes, Rah! And then runs off. It's like, I want to kiss a girl.
I'm not finished with you yet.
Oh my god, so weird. You'd kill her as well. She doesn't even sign the t-shirt and she runs off as well. But yeah, they lost, and I'm annoyed because I really want them to win, but Asuka and Miz, it definitely looks like they're going to win this now. Is it?
So it's Bobby Roode and Charlotte versus Sasha Banks, Sasha Banks and Finn Balor. They got the second chance.
Oh, okay, cool. They won the fan vote then.
Yeah.
So they actually won. They did win a match. They won the first match. They beat Nakamura and Nakamura. They beat Nakamura and Natalia in the first round.
Little problem with this that I can foreshadow is that if they've won the second chance fan vote, technically they probably should win it. They should win that match next week, but if they win that match next week, then it's Raw versus Raw talent.
I don't think it matters who versus who, but
I think it makes SmackDown look a bit sort of like
second rate.
Yeah.
It's fair enough.
I suppose.
I really want Charlotte to win this, because then you have Charlotte and Asuka in the ring. Little teasy WrestleMania. No. Yeah, people,
But will they do that?
Nah.
Will they want to do that? I don't want to see them touch each other until Mania.
We won't, though. We won't see it till Friday morning.
Yeah.
It's on Tuesday night in America. Takes the piss. Anyway, House of Pain has become, the Hall of Pain has become the Hall of Fame. Mark Henry's in the WWE Hall of Fame.
That right.
It took me a while. There's a company in England called the House of Pain, HOP. Anyway, he's in the Hall of Fame, and I'm not going to lie to you, and I want you to tell me what you thought of it.
You didn't like this?
I came round to it, and I came round to it really within a day or so.
Did you come round to it because of the promo?
No. I came just from thinking about it logically. So, first and foremost, I thought Mark Henry in the Hall of Fame. Right, okay. He's won 2 or 1 world title? 1 world title?
I think it might have been 2.
In my brain, I'm saying 2, because I think he beat Christian for it, and the first time he beat it, he won against Big Show.
Beat Orton for it.
And then
it could be 2. We'll double check that.
He's a world champion. Yeah. And that got a very high rating on SmackDown at the time, extremely high. And he did one of the best promos I've ever seen.
Okay, so I'll put this to you.
But no,
Mark Henry.
Can I just get to the point first? Go on. Not only am I delighted about that, so that's 2 points that is for him. The other stuff is just like, what has he ever done? But then when I take a real big step back and think, right, Mark Henry, he's probably, after Farouk and maybe The Rock, a massive influence in probably the black community. So having someone like him on national television every week, being world champion, being a champion, just being there and being a dominant person is probably enough. Now, reflecting on it to be in the Hall of Fame. But my first initial thing of what he'd accomplished just in the ring, and then thinking about other things behind the scenes, if you like that, he definitely probably deserves it.
So what I was going to say is that, so if Daniel Bryan never come back, does Daniel Bryan deserve to be in the Hall of Fame?
No.
Right. So that's to
it's
me.
Not an easy decision.
Me, at that point, Mark Henry, Daniel Bryan, probably about the same career. I'm not talking about the same level of in-ring competition in terms of achievements and things like that. Probably about the same.
Despite one lasting longer, they've probably achieved about the same sort of thing. Yeah.
Well, no, they would have lasted at the same time. Obviously, Bryan had a career before WWE.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, WWE tend to ignore that kind of stuff, don't they?
They do. But that's the same sort of level. So if Daniel Bryan was to be a Hall of Famer,
Bryan was four-time champion.
Yeah.
And
obviously wishes more than Henry, but in a short.
Yeah, exactly. So technically, Bryan maybe does deserve a little bit more. How many times was Kurt world champion?
6.
Is
it 6? 4?
Including TNA? I
don't know.
4 or 5. It really wasn't many. Yeah. He won the
but we know that the WWE Hall of Fame isn't to do with championship wins or anything like that. Anyone can go in it, and it's not just about
Kid Rock's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, they got a celebrity wing. They got obviously Warrior Award winners. Drew Carey's in there. You know, but there's reasons behind it, and I think he deserves a place in there. I don't think they should have put him in this year. I think they should have waited until there was another WrestleMania in Texas, probably in the next 5 years, and they put Mark Henry in there.
It's very quick.
Because it's very quick.
Save him then if you can do that.
Usually they like to get someone in the Hall of Fame that's in the from the area or something like that.
That's 8.
Would have been perfect if that was in Texas. Say it was in Dallas again in 3 years' time. Would have been perfect for him to go into the Hall of Fame.
So that's because we got the annual Warrior Award and we've got the Celebrity Wing. So that's 6. Technically 7 because they're Dudleys, but
it's actually 8.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like 1 Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
1 Celebrity Wing, 1 Andre the Dana Warrior thingy, and then you've got 6 others.
Yeah.
But technically 2 of them one of them is a tag team. So you've got 9 people going in this year. I don't know. It just seems like a bit much.
Yeah, I think it's a bit too much, but
6 would have been fine.
Usually, I like to watch the Hall of Fame ceremony. I like to watch it for stories.
It's going to be about 5 hours, mate.
Probably will, yeah.
Just a very quick one on this. Do you think that we need to have a Celebrity Wing entrant and or a Warrior Award entrant every year? Or do you think they should literally have it for special occasions?
I think they should have the Warrior Award thing every year. I think that's nice. I think it's a good thing that they do.
No, it's a great thing. But do you think it needs to happen every year?
The Warrior Award, yes. Okay. Celebrity Wing, no.
No, yeah. Fair enough.
Edge and Christian are to induct the Dudleys.
Are they?
I don't know if you've heard that.
No. Very good.
They're hoping for another particular tag team to appear with them on the stage.
Hardy Boy.
Yep.
Please. Just,
yeah.
You know, that would be so special.
No news on other inductees yet, but I'm sure we'll get that probably the week of Mania.
Who do you think would induct Goldberg?
Well, there's rumours that Paul Heyman were going to do it.
Ugh, don't like that.
And is that
while it would be hilarious?
Goldberg's a Jew and Paul Heyman's a Jew, and it's just like, well, yeah, the 2 Jews together.
You look after your own, man.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
I'd like Bischoff to do Goldberg. I think Bischoff is the most sensible one to do Goldberg.
Pretty cool, wouldn't it?
So
could you see Hogan doing it?
But Goldberg, I mean, there's not really anyone in terms of talking. Brock would be a good person to do, but Brock wouldn't be able to induct. He can't speak barely. But, there's going to be a few people. Stone Cold. Just there's
been worse decisions. And the last sort of thing we want to talk about in the bridge is the finals of the Cruiserweight tournament that will happen at WrestleMania, probably on the kickoff show, is Mustafa Ali versus Cedric Alexander.
Yeah.
I think this will be a very good match.
They've obviously faced each other before on WWE TV quite a bit. They've put on some great matches, but this match will be a great match. Yes, it'll probably be on the pre-show, but
because of just simple time constraints.
Yeah, because I've lost track of all the matches, but I'm sure if we sat there, it's probably about 13.
The problem with this year's WrestleMania, go check it out on our YouTube channel, guys.
So I think we got quite close to most of the matches on there.
We've done well. Yeah. I think we've done well. So if you don't believe us.
But yeah, it's be a great little match. It'll be just a match. It'll be just a wrestling match for the Cruiserweight title, which is exactly what 205 Live is. Again, I'd like to see it on NXT TakeOver the night before. I think it would have been a perfect place for it. But WrestleMania pre-show, unfortunately,
is where it'll be.
Just get rid of the pre-show. Just have a 7-hour WrestleMania. Then you don't, technically it won't be on the pre-show.
It's only a matter of time. Guys, that is our Bridge and Raw segments all done and dusted. We now move on to the most anticipated discussion I think I've ever been a part of, and I think anyone has ever been a part of in wrestling, is our SmackDown Live Roundup and the return of Daniel Bryan in more ways than one. Daniel Bryan is medically cleared to wrestle, and he's already got physical.
Yes.
Very quick.
Yes.
Why wait? I mean, I think probably the WWE's policy here is we've had to wait 2 years, and now we're literally 2 years. February of 2016, we are March of 2018. It's 2 years and a month. They are picking up pretty much where they left off.
So him being cleared, I was like buzzing. I mean, I genuinely was so happy that he got cleared. I've never felt like that sort of attachment to someone. And
It's
just
weird.
It's like, you know, they're saying, like, there's a lot of tweets saying, "Oh, it's not me crying, it's you that's crying." But yeah, it was.
Grown men.
Crying. I wasn't crying at all. I mean, you know.
And the fact we found out mere hours before SmackDown was literally live, made it so much more exciting, because it wasn't like we were going to have to wait a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. We were going to find out in hours what was going to happen next, which just made it, in my opinion, it made so much more sense to do it when they did it. How long has he been cleared for? Who knows?
Would it have been better if he come out at Mania and said, "I've just been cleared for competition"?
Yes.
That would have been even better. But the promo we got from Bryan,
oh my God,
was amazing. It echoed what he'd done in his retirement speech.
It was basically, you remember that thing? Yeah, ignore it.
Yeah. He thanked WWE because he said, which was a good thing that he said, because he looked at the person rather than the wrestler, which is obviously most
Which is what it's about, really.
Thank the fans. He cried every time he mentioned Brie.
He mentioned Brie twice.
Yeah.
And
broke down.
Even before he got to her name, you knew you were going to say his name, because poor bloke couldn't.
He mentioned how depressed he was, that he couldn't do what he loved. It was just an emotional promo.
You know, sometimes when they kind of cross over reality and sort of what is storyline and what isn't storyline, and they kind of over accentuate stuff to make it sound a bit more interesting. Nothing here needs to be accentuated. Yeah. This was the 100% the cold hard truth, and it was. You know. You were crying, I was crying, Brie was crying, Bryan was crying, the whole crowd were crying. Not one grown bloke in the crowd wasn't crying. You know, that
little chuckle that you had when he come out and he stood there and he took it in, he just chuckled to himself, and it was like,
before he went to the ring. Yeah.
And I'm sure if we had cameras on every person that watched it, there was just a big massive smile on their face, because everyone's been waiting for this. Like, it might not have happened. But I thought
if he was going to wrestle again, I thought it would have been in Japan. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Maybe
it's a bit convenient that they've cleared him now, considering that his contract is up in September.
Well, now is that, I mean, okay, we'll enjoy it for what it is now, because it's absolutely fantastic, but that doesn't mean he's going to resign. Now he's been cleared. He knows he can go to Japan.
I think
he can go to Ring of Honor.
Been cleared. He has to earn his contract back, because I think Rey Mysterio had the same thing. He got injured and he had to work the injury.
JBL would have been probably similar as well with his back.
So, I think he'll get a better deal with WWE. I don't think he'll wrestle every week. I don't think
he could still be the GM.
Yeah.
I mean, by the way, how good are his promos now? Yeah. They were far more better executed than it was. So keep him as GM. A bit like Kurt, but
Bryan doesn't need to do 250 to 300 wrestling dates a year.
100 matches,
100 a year, and I think that'll be fine. I think that'll keep the wrestling bug down.
That's a match every 4 days, ish, 4 days. Yeah. I think that's every random house show.
Yeah, and he does. He's going to have a match at Mania. We assume he's going to be in some sort of tag match with Shane against Sammy and Kevin. But his next match might be against a Dolph Ziggler, who's a safe hand.
Nice little segment between them backstage. I'm looking forward to beating you.
But he doesn't need to go. Well, now it's Tuesday Night SmackDown after WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan's in his first match live. It doesn't need to be that
against Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah, it just needs to be. He doesn't need to go straight into. He just needs to have a match every now and then.
He is a special draw, because he might be the most special draw, because it's someone say about CM Punk, and CM Punk, he's if he wrestles in WWE, he wrestles again. That might happen at one stage. Punk coming back and potentially wrestling for WWE was more likely than Bryan wrestling for WWE. So this is a very, very special, and we should be privileged.
Yeah,
we should be privileged to have him in a WrestleMania into any match. So he says, right, Now on to business. What happened last week? Kevin and Sami beating up Shane. I will address later. They're not here. So when they're here, I will take care of business. They arrive conveniently about half an hour before the show finished. 20 minutes. Bryan goes back to the ring.
Well, they were late because they got pulled over by a Texas cop.
Oh, no, they actually...
Dumbass, wasn't it?
And the only reason they were coming back to the arena and they were speeding is because they pulled over, is because they wanted to congratulate Daniel. And they hugged him. They shook his hand. And Bryan admitted a lot of things that we thought were true, and they were. He did live vicariously through them. I didn't think I'd get that admission.
No.
He admitted to favouring them and to wanting them succeed. So he actually admitted that all the things he kind of did were probably true. And he also said that he is very disappointed and surprised in Sami and Kevin because they got everything they wanted last Tuesday.
Yeah.
Shane made them, a singles match for them. Very rare singles matches this year at WrestleMania. They would have had a singles match. Shane admitted he was going on hiatus and that Bryan was left in charge. Kevin and Sami had really everything they wanted, and that wasn't good enough for them.
Great points. I did think that. I'm sure a few others did think that as well. You know,
I just thought that they were gonna. He's leaving, so they thought, screw it, he's gone. We'll batter him anyway. We won't have any consequences. But as we now know, Bryan rounded up his promo, rounded up his point, and said, "Guys, I didn't think I'd have to do this, but Kevin, Sami, you're fired."
Yeah.
And I don't imagine that Bryan ever thought he'd be in a Vince McMahon position where he's telling someone they're fired after being fired. And he admitted he'd been fired twice.
Yeah.
Can't remember the first one then, because the second one was Nexus.
Yeah.
What was the first one?
I think the other one may have been some sort of storyline. One. That's what I was trying to work out, but it's something to do with the authority.
Yeah, maybe he was fired for like 3 weeks or 2 weeks. Okay, well, one was true, one was gimmicked.
Was that when he maybe got dressed up in a suit and then he ripped it off? And then he got fired after that, possibly. I don't know. There was a lot of during that time before Mania that I don't remember because the title was thrown about between Orton and Bryan, wasn't it? So
flying around. I even Cena popped in for a cup of tea with that. So during this, after he's fired them, the crowd are going massive pop for firing them. Massive pop.
Yeah.
Sami is looking very agitated. He's looking around. He's pleading with Bryan. Kevin don't do a thing.
No.
He looked at the floor, and I'm at this point, I'm just looking at Kevin, and he starts to clench his right hand. And it's just at the bottom of the shot, but you can see him clenching his right hand, and I'm thinking, oh my God, he's going to explode. And you're just waiting.
You're waiting for it, and you're just hoping it doesn't happen.
And you're like, please don't beat him up, please don't beat him up, please don't beat him up. And they start, because Kevin just blindsides him. Sami gets on top and then starts giving him some haymakers. Yeah. Bryan covers up. And you're thinking, oh my God, Bryan, this isn't just some sort of hokey storyline. This is true. They're beating Bryan up. Yeah. This has not happened in 2 years. And then Bryan starts hitting back. And he starts doing the running corners. And he starts doing the kicks.
Does a German suplex on Sami Zayn, which is ferocious. This is like he just threw him over. It was
we talk about Brock Lesnar being terrible.
Jesus, I was like, all right, Bryan, you might be a bit rusty, mate, but Jesus Christ, calm down.
Time he threw a German.
Jesus.
Can't remember him doing that much when he was doing it.
But he was doing the kicks in the corner, and he was being a bit more safer.
Yeah, you noticed this, didn't you?
It was like he was using the ropes to roll over on his back rather than literally falling on his back, which he used to do. Which may be the change of style that he's alluded to that he needs to do. He needs to change the style, and obviously you'll see that in the match. You won't see so many. You probably won't see the diving headbutt that he does.
I hope not.
Yeah, I mean, he might put it out in a big scenario, but it's one of them that you don't want to keep doing. He's obviously been cleared to take bumps, so you probably won't see him in a Brock Lesnar match because that's just horrific.
Yeah, Bryan versus Brock was a match that we were supposed to see 2 WrestleManias ago, but that was when he got Dean Ambrose.
Yes,
I think
that was the change. Yeah.
And that match was terrible. Yeah. Bryan is back, and he eventually did get powerbombed on the apron by Kevin, and Sami gave him a halloumi kick. Yeah. That's how we finished SmackDown. We'll go through the other bits and pieces that we had during the show. But
so you got powerbombed
on the apron.
Yeah, on the apron, which was again like Oh, Brian's just taken another bump off an apron here. It's like, oh Jesus Christ! It's like you don't.
I'm scared every time he takes a bump.
Yeah, now he's cleared. Please don't hurt him.
Okay, here's one. Do you think they will do an angle where they pretend he's hurt and he's not hurt because they know we're worried?
Daniel Bryan is the hot tag at WrestleMania, right?
Yeah. Okay, so we should say
Shane takes the beating.
We think Bryan will be back probably next week or the week after. Because if he's not back next week, do you know what? I would love to see next week Kevin and Sammy
running the show.
Yeah. They go into the office and go, well, we've taken out the GM, we've taken out the commissioner, nobody else is here. Yeah. This is ours. We're 2 weeks away from WrestleMania. They make the matches. They look after the show.
And Shane and Bryan turn up at the end of the show and they live.
The week after.
Or the week after. Yeah. Or
the week after. So Kevin and Sammy, like week 2 of the Kevin and Sammy, literally the Kevin and Sammy show, literally as it is theirs. And then, like you say, last segment, they're in the ring going, we're announcing that me and Sammy are now in the main event of the show and we're going to beat AJ Nakamura. And then, Bryan and Shane and go, me and him versus you two at WrestleMania this Sunday. And then they storm the ring and the place goes fucking apeshit.
Yeah.
Perfect. That'd be so cool. A few other things did happen on SmackDown.
They did.
It's very easy to get caught up in what.
Very easy to get. I almost thought we were at the end of the show because we're talking about Daniel Bryan.
It's there's literally 2-3 other things that happened that I want to quickly go over with you because not to discourage from one of them. One of them is the WWE Championship, crying out loud. And the moment we're talking about Bryan is the most prioritized thing on SmackDown because it's so we didn't think it would happen.
Well, before we go into this, let's quickly just say a few matches. Bryan Nakamura, Bryan AJ Styles,
Bryan Johnny Gargano.
Oh
my God.
Bryan Samoa Joe,
Bryan Ciampa,
Bryan
Miz
Cena again. Bryan Miz is the one that I want to see.
No, it's a match we have seen, but not in this scenario.
Yeah. There's so Bryan Seth. Even Bryan versus Roman again. That was a good little match.
It was Fastlane. Do you say AJ?
AJ, yeah, you know.
The Nakamura one is just one I want to see.
So many matches because it's not to say
Bryan Seth.
It's Bryan Seth, Bryan Finn,
Bryan Dean. Bryan Dean. We need a striker for Middlesbrough.
Bryan versus Roderick Strong.
Oh my God.
Bryan versus anyone on the 205 Live roster.
Bryan versus Jack Gallagher.
Yeah, just there's so many, and that's the thing because there's been a lot of talent that's come through the doors in these last 2 years.
A ton of talent.
So there's so many fresh matchups for them to have.
For Bryan to go around the houses now.
But anyway, on to the WWE Championship. So Nakamura is in a match with Rusev in a Fastlane rematch. Yeah.
He does win with neutral face.
Good little match this. Obviously not as...
They had a good match at Fastlane.
Yeah, but this obviously was shorter because it's on TV.
Time constraints. Yeah.
But they got everything they needed to do in this match. And
it was a mirror of what happened last week when AJ faced...
Rusev, yeah.
And English and Rusev double team. Nakamura tried to beat him down. Whereas Nakamura got up a little quicker and then helped AJ. AJ stood up, took his title off, took his jacket off.
Gave his title to Corey Graves. Interestingly, will Corey Graves now be cleared to wrestle? Same thing. Anyway, let's carry on. He's not as big a superstar as Bryan.
I like him as a colour. I think change his hair back.
Yeah.
What I did like about this is Corey's like, look at this shiny. He's like so happy he's got the WWE title in his hand. Took his jacket off, gave it, and turned around, put it all down very, very nicely, turned around, and Nakamura's already finished them off and looking over at AJ, giving that hilarious little side grin he does with the hands and stuff. It's like, then they did catch up again backstage just like last week, mirror images of each other. Nakamura's gonna win this match. I'm there.
Yes, I'd probably say I'm more leaning to Nakamura. I can see AJ Styles bit like we were talking about who's face, who's heel. AJ's definitely going to be the heel in this.
When it comes to the structure of the match, I think it will be.
Yeah.
When it comes to our WrestleMania prediction show, I think it's going to be one of the most fascinating prediction shows we'll ever do.
Yeah.
It'll only be our 4th one, but this could finish. You could get them half of them right. I could get none right.
Yeah.
It could be this prediction.
There's a lot of that.
Apart from Roman Brock.
Yeah.
That's about the only one.
We know we'll get a point there.
I wonder how many F5s it kick out of.
Yeah.
That could be an extra point.
Could be.
That was pretty much it when it comes to the WWE title. because of the Bryan thing, which is obviously a wonderfully glorious, beautiful thing. Everything else has been mega relegated to not feeling as important this week.
But we've talked about this. It doesn't need to be anything else. This is just a dream match. This is just a match. It's a match against
having face against face is very difficult to build because
they're just trying to get one up on each other, and I'm fine with that until Mania.
And without Rusev in English, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So fair play to them too, because they are the heel in this storyline, and they're not even in the match.
Next week will probably be a tag match, or the last week before it'll be a tag match.
One of them will hit. Yeah. One of them will hit the other one.
Yeah. There's 2 weeks left, so there's time still to build it.
Baron Corbin versus Ty Dillinger. We have been told that both will be in the Battle Royale. That's how Corbin made his debut. He won it in his first year, being on the main 2 years ago.
Yeah, at Texas.
MetLife?
That is WrestleMania 32. He won it, right?
Yeah, that New Jersey.
And they were in Dallas, Texas,
Dallas,
on
Texas.
Tuesday as well.
So yeah, back here. So I want to talk to you very briefly about what they have both done. So Ty has done nothing since being on the main roster.
He had a small little US title
storyline with Bobby Roode.
Was it with Bobby or Jinder? No, I can't remember who he had it with.
Jinder?
Might have been Dolph.
Dolph won it and then vacated it. Can't be Dolph.
I can't remember.
Who's champion for Dolph?
AJ.
Maybe it was AJ.
Yeah. But yeah, Ty's not really done much since coming up.
Apart from being 10 twice. And I should have won the Rumble prediction show.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, but you didn't.
Damn, Sammy.
But he's not done much. No. But I think with Ty, he's a good hand. He's been doing this for years.
Oh, he's a superb hand.
That's what he's there for. He's almost like Dolph Ziggler 2.0.
He got super kicked by Shawn Michaels when he was there in DX for crying out loud. Yeah. Who are you, Mike? Just Mike. Yeah, he's been doing a long, long time. Baron Corbin, on the other hand, has won Money in the Bank. He didn't win on the cash-in. He has won the Battle Royale before. I'm surprised he's in something this, and it is, whether we want to admit it or not, it's a low-down match. It's on the pre-show. It's not very important. And I thought because of the year he'd had Money in the Bank, having title matches, main eventing, he's not in any. He's not even on the main show.
Yeah.
I
think there's time for Baron Corbin. I think he's probably a future world champion. If I'm honest, there's 2 shows, I think he is.
I don't know.
There's time to build on him. He's still relatively new in the wrestling business.
He is, but
remember that.
But no, he is. But because of the situation he's been in and the important scenarios he's been in, he screwed up his own Money in the Bank because he got arrested.
No, he was saying stuff about. Well, I've been saying stuff about Meltzer. Things like that.
He got in trouble though. Yeah, Charlotte versus Natalya, a very good match.
It's a great match. I sat up. I was like, "Well, this is actually quite a good match."
Shades of their match from NXT where the title was vacated because of Paige being called up as champion. Really, really good match.
Yeah, no, it was. It was back and forth. There was submission holds, rest holds, and
a cash in.
An attempted cash in. I didn't quite get the cash in because surely if Carmella is trying to cash in at that point, it'd be a triple threat match. So why does she need to bring down another referee?
The referee ran down with her, ran round the ring, took the briefcase on her. She turned around and got big booted by Charlotte. Carmella, and Natalya rolled her up for 3. So the SmackDown Women's Champion's been pinned 2 weeks before WrestleMania, where she's against someone that's never been beaten in 3 years. 2 years.
3 years. I think they said 2.5 years, didn't they?
So, you're gonna. I don't really know what to say there.
Yeah, I didn't mind her getting pinned. It just adds a bit of jeopardy into her road to WrestleMania.
I think at WrestleMania Carmella cashes in but doesn't win.
Yeah,
and that's how you avoid. That's how you avoid Charlotte winning and Asuka staying undefeated. Yeah. I think it's a really nice buffer. We'll see what happens, but I think that's the way they go. Jimmy versus Luke Harper. It's our second to last point. I'm pretty certain this is going to be a 3-way. The Bludgeon Brothers, the New Day, and the Usos at WrestleMania.
It looks like it. Another triple threat.
Multi-man Mania.
I think this will be a great match. I think Jimmy and Luke had a good little match.
Yeah.
I think Luke was always going to win the match, but I think they were almost done a few false finishes in there where I was like, actually they might beat him here.
It was a good match and a slight progression on a storyline that in a match that hasn't officially been made yet.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who makes this match official, by the way, because there's nobody around.
Yeah.
Social media.
Maybe
Vince makes it.
Probably.
He might have to.
Yeah,
he might have to.
Yeah.
And the last point, before we say goodbye, is the United States title picture, Jinder, Bobby, Randy. That is also now official. Another triple threat match, WrestleMania.
Another triple threat match.
Multi-man Mania is built in.
See, if there's any matches going to be on the pre-show other than the Cruiserweight Championship, possibly other than the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, I think the Women's Battle Royal will make the main show.
No way.
I think so.
No, if the men's is, why is the women's?
Women's Evolution.
I'm not against that, by the way, but I just think if you're going to, you have to start, you can't just start treating them higher, you have to treat them equal.
Yeah, exactly.
Randy on a pre-show.
I think this will be pre-show.
Do you know what? It is the pre-show. If it is on the pre-show, at the end of the day, you're still going down that ramp. You're still in the ring. It's got WrestleMania everywhere. You're at WrestleMania.
Yeah, you're at WrestleMania. You know, Jinder, WWE champion the last year, pre-show. Bobby Roode, former NXT champion, pre-show. Randy Orton, 14-time world champion.
14-time, I think. Yeah,
pre-show.
This is the problem with this year's WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
They had a promo. I mean, it just, we now know there's a tag next week, Samir and Jinder versus Bobby and Randy. It's just another. At this point now, we could probably have WrestleMania tomorrow. Yeah, we're that ready for it on all counts. And that's SmackDown. That's SmackDown. So that's been our show this week. It's been
bookended by the most massive thing about that. It was about that show was about Daniel Bryan.
We could have spoke about Bryan for an hour, and that would have been it probably.
Not to say everything else on the show wasn't good. But like I say, the women's match was a great little
really good match. Yeah,
but it was still a good show, great show. The same as Raw this week.
When anybody ever thinks about the week that Daniel Bryan made his official return to wrestling, everything else no one will remember.
Yeah.
And that isn't a knock on anyone. That will just be simply how this is so unexpected. Yeah. And it's happened. Yeah. So, Kieran, thank you very much for joining me today. And we will be back next week. And then we'll be starting to do a few WrestleMania videos and a WrestleMania prediction show.
As of today, we're 18 days away, Wednesday, 18 days away from Mania. Mm-hmm. So we've got next week, and then the week after that is the week of WrestleMania.
Good God.
So we'll be doing a few
we got a quiz coming up.
NXT TakeOver prediction show, WrestleMania prediction show.
Yeah, we will do a TakeOver prediction show. We don't normally, but it's WrestleMania weekend, so we will.
So a lot to look forward to.
Busy week.
Dirt Sheet Mania.
Awesome.
I'm sure we can find time out of our busy schedules to do it all, but we'll work it out.
We have no time. He's been the director. I've been the chief. Thank you very much for listening. This has been Dirt Sheet Mania, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.